Welcome back, everyone. I'm joined by Jim Wilson, the assistant sports editor for the Telegram and Gazette and Home Team Magazine. And Willie, what a week of games. You and I were just talking about it, but when was the last time we had so many good games involving top 10 teams?
Yeah, everybody was in exaction against everybody else, and it just made for a great week. I can't remember the last time this is such a good, everywhere you went, it was a great game.
Doherty, St. Peter, Marion. Doherty wins in overtime. I mean, one of the best games of the week. Your thoughts on that game?
It's a game that, you know what, in the past, let's be honest with you, Doherty doesn't win. I mean, we talk about all year, Doherty always has the athletes, but for some reason, he just can't get over that hump. Last week against St. Peter Marion, winning in overtime like that, and you can watching the lead slip away from him and they come back to fight, that's a great win for Doherty. I mean, that should be a lot to be proud of. But you know what? The show up in Shepherd Hill next 2 weeks. There's no rest for him.
No, it's incredible, and I give Sean Mulcahy a lot of credit because he kept that team focused. They had a personal foul penalty when St. Peter's was down on the goal line late in the game. Sean keeping that team focused on task. They had the goal line stand. It really wasn't even 4 plays. It was seven plays if you look at it from inside the 5-yard line. But I give Sean a lot of credit in just dealing with the kids on the team and telling one of the kids during the game, cut the theatrics, get back in the huddle, and make a play. And the kid ended up making a huge play.
That's what you got to do. You got to put. It's a game on the line. You can't be worried about the play before. I mean, you look at that short memory thing that all these coaches preach. It's that way for a reason because you need to have basically a short memory. Get to the next play. If you screw up on that last play, it's in the past. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no instant replay. They can't take it back. You got to don't worry about winning that game. But they were able to do that and beat a very good St. Peter Marion team, despite their record. They're still dangerous. They could be 7-0.
Yeah, no, they're a really good team, very good talent, and you look at that team, and they're right. They're just a couple plays away in each game from being undefeated. There may not be a hotter team in Central Mass right now than Wachusett. Right. Their last 3 games, they're averaging only 11 points a game giving up on defense. That's against St. Peter's, Shrewsbury, and Leominster. 3 very talented offenses.
We've been saying it all year because Wachusett, they had that tough start, but you know what? You knew they were going to get better. They're too good. They're too talented. They're too well coached to really just sit there and be at the bottom of the barrel for too long. They're showing that their defense is coming together, like you mentioned, that those 3 games, to do that, the defense to do what they did. Yeah. I said on Twitter the other day, they're just playing out of their minds right now. And this is exactly when you want to be playing. Like, they have a tough schedule to end the season. To defense, just to give that offense some chance to make plays because the offense knows that they go 3 and out, that's fine because the defense is going to hold serve and they're going to get the ball back.
And it's the same recipe when we've seen up there with Mike Dubzinski and that coaching staff. They're going to hit you on every play. They're going to be a physical team, hard-nosed team, and they're going to do what they do well. They're not going to try to throw fancy plays at you. They're not going to try to out-scheme you on offense. They're going to come right at you. And defensively, they'll switch things up when they need to, but they're first and foremost, they want to smack you in the mouth on each and every play. Shepherd Hill and Northbridge, huge statement game for the Hill.
Big statement game. And we said the same thing about Shepherd Hill. You take away that Auburn game, because Auburn's going to do that to a lot of teams. They're going to make them look silly. And I think Shepherd Hill, that was probably the best thing that happened. We could be saying after the Super Bowl this year, that was the best thing that happened to Shepherd Hill, that Auburn game, because it brought them down to earth and it pissed them off for the rest of the year. Because they look at that, they know they were taking advantage of it, and they came out and game against Northbridge, just as good of a team. You know, offense, it's a scary offense. They came down, they shut them down, they couldn't do anything about it, and they ran the ball right at it. There's no flash. They might have thrown one pass. I don't know if they threw a pass in that game. They came down, they ran it right at Northbridge. So you stop it. We're going to go, a double wing offense, laugh all you want at it. You know what's coming. We're going to run left, run right. We're going to pitch the ball, try to stop it, and they couldn't.
And then you look at in the Hill also winning some close games this year against St. Peter Marion, against Grafton. So they've beaten some good teams. This is a battle-tested team. Looking at this Leominster St. John's game, was our game of the week, your game of the week, lived up to the hype, to all the billing. You can't get a better game than that. Coming down to the final play.
You look at that, I think we talked about it off camera, because the way the St. John's defense is playing this year, you kind of look at the way, they got that late touchdown. It looks like in the bag. Any other year it would have been. But with David Palazzo in that offense, they left that a little more than a minute on the clock. Way too much time. You just saw, Delecki and those guys just go to work. Neil O'Connor, you knew it was going to come down to it. And it's similar like the Shepherd Hill thing. You knew what they were going to do. They try to stop it. St. John's couldn't. Now they've lost 3 in a row. When was the last time that happened? So, but Leominster, that's a huge statement game for them because everybody's trying to see what do they have. After that Wachusett loss, they come on against Algonquin, looked a little iffy for a half before they started to put it away. So you didn't know what team was going to show up, especially in a game like that. But Leominster does it again. I'm done picking against you guys in these big games. I guarantee you next time, Leominster, I'm picking you guys because you've proved it. You show up in these games. everybody's against them type of mentality.
Yeah.
They had a real good win against St. John's.
Does that include this week against Brockton? You're going to pick the Blue Devils against Brockton, against the Boxers.
I like them this year more than I like them last year against Brockton.
I'll tell you what, Neil O'Connor's a great football player too, and you can't say enough about what he does on the offense, on the defense. Just he is a great football player, and he's not a kid that's huge. He's not a kid that comes out with a full beard. He looks like a high school kid, but he's a baby-faced assassin. He's a great player. Looking at a couple games this week, Doherty Neshoba, the huge one. Number 2 versus number 3. When was the last time that Doherty had a game this big, this late in the season? You might have to go back to when Terry Wallace was playing, when he was quarterback in the team.
And I always like Terry Wallace as a quarterback because, you just look at him right now. I love you, Terry. But you know what? Doherty, I love it because Doherty's playing a meaningful game for the first time in a while late in the season. It's fantastic for me. You know what? They got nothing to lose in this one. You know what? They're going to go in there and they look at Neshoba. They had a tough game against Marlborough. They had a tough game against Clinton. They got smacked in the mouth, and Neshoba came back and said, we'll take their best shot. We came back and got the win. That's all that matters. You don't get style points for being, for winning pretty. So that's the point what Neshoba has. They're a very good team, and Doherty knows this. So Doherty's coming out pretty confident for the first time. It's a great season. You know what? They were sick the last couple of years. They probably went to school on Monday mornings and said, hey, what happened to you guys? Holy Name kicked the crap out of you.
Right.
Well, you know what? They don't have that problem anymore because they're one of the best teams in the state right now.
And from my standpoint, what's interesting about this game is Neshoba has some good wins. They've beaten Wachusett, Marlborough, Holy Name. This is the best passing team they're going to have faced to this point this season. Luke Brennan has thrown for 846 yards, 10 touchdowns. He's got a lot of weapons, too. I mean, he's got wideouts, he's got running backs, he's got tight ends, so they can spread the ball around. It'll be interesting to see how Neshoba goes up against a team that can throw the ball as well as Doherty can. And then conversely, how does Doherty stop that wing T attack? Because no one runs the wing T better than Neshoba, and they'll throw wrinkles off of it. They can throw the ball probably better than any wing T team in Central Mass. So first and foremost, you have to stop the run. When you do that, Brady Shartner over the top, great athlete, great football player.
That's the problem. You got to stop the run, and that's first and foremost. I think they don't want to worry too much about stopping the pass because they got the fastest kid in New England running the ball for you. John Ojukwu will take that ball and just they worry they can't put too many in a box because he'll take the corner. He's gone.
Yeah.
And so I think they got to worry about. So who do you stop if you're Doherty? Because Norton Neshoba has so many weapons. Conversely, Doherty's looking pretty good too. Abdullah Webster running the ball. You mentioned that great passing attack.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting how Doherty picks up the Neshoba blitz packages and things like that because that's going to be a key to the game.
We got about 30 seconds left. Grafton and Auburn. Corey Charpentier and Matt Pillsbury have been able to get through everyone's offensive line. Auburn, though, 300 pounds, 280 across the board. And what I think Auburn will do that's different than other teams, they'll go down to like punt formation splits. They'll go to 2-inch splits if they have to, and no one's going to get through. You can't drive a Brinks truck through there if you're going to go down to 2-inch splits, and they have the size that they can do it.
That's the thing. I mean, it's going to be every week it comes down to if you're playing Auburn, who's going to stop their line?
Right.
Nobody has yet. And I don't, Grafton, I love the Grafton. I think they're a great team, a great defense. They're giving up, 7 points in the last couple of games.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. They're going to be put to the test this week against Auburn. Their line and their offense. And you know what? The defense is coming along too. So you got to. Who do you stop with Auburn?
Right, and it's a great game because it's physical. Two physical teams. Grafton with Mike Ross, so physical. They gear up for this game, as you mentioned. Grafton's averaging defense only giving up 7 points a game. Auburn's D only giving up 6 points a game.
Something's got to give.
It's an old black and blue game. All right, we're out of time again. We didn't even get into the state
playoffs.
Super Bowl playoff format. Maybe next week we'll have time to get into that. Willie, thanks as always.
No problem. Thank you.
We're back with more of Frenzy Extra right after this.